Hello viewers, how are you? I have a topic before us which is known as public finance. Public finance. Now what is public finance? Public finance is the branch of economics that deals with the financial activities of the government concerning income generation, expenditure and debt operation. That aspect of the government that deals with the financial activity is known or referred to as what? Public finance. Everything that has got to do associated with the government is called public finance. Now, in this topic, you will be used to things that is always associated with revenue, expenditure, and debt operation. Now, in this topic, you should also be told what is fiscal policy, and that is fiscal policy is government plan action concerning how they generate revenue, expenditure, and the debt operation. The plan action of the government on how they generate revenue, the debt, and the what, and the expenditure. You refer to that as what? As fiscal policy. Now, we also note in this topic what is known as taxation or tax, or how, let me use the word, how government generates revenue. How government generates revenue? Government can generate revenue in different ways. Government can generate revenue from tax. And what is tax? Tax is the compulsory amount given by the government or issued by the government on individual income or commodities. That is known or referred to as what? As tax. That's how government generates revenue. Government can also generate revenue from royalties. You can use government property and that's how you pay for it, for using government property over a period of time. That's royalties. Government can generate revenue from their low-cost houses. Where they build houses, whether the high-cost house or the low-cost house, but as long as it is being generated, it is generating revenue for the government, it is revenue generating and avenue of the government to make money. So government can also generate revenue from their water rates. You have water rates, you have many other rates that government can get money from. Apart from that, government can also generate revenue from miscellaneous things, but when you fines, from their fine, where you are meant to pass a pedestrian bridge and decide to cross the road, you realize that the government official can hold you to ransom and ask you for a certain amount, and expectedly it's supposed to go to the government. But meanwhile, that is how government can generate revenue. But I want to now look at taxation. What is tax? Taxation is the compulsory amount imposed on consumers' income, commodities, or your income, your commodities, or your property. We call that tax. Now there are two types of tax. We have the direct tax and we have indirect tax. What is the direct tax? When you say a tax is direct, it means that you who is paying the tax, you are the one that is paying the burden of the tax. So indirect tax are those taxes in which the taxpayer is the one who bears the burden of the tax. Such a tax is known as direct tax. It's called direct tax. Now the next line is also what is types of direct tax. What are the types of direct tax? A couple of them. We have the salt tax, we have the poll tax, we have the capital gain tax, we have the company tax, we have the property tax, and so on and so forth. But I'm able to just a few of them. Now, what is the salt tax? A salt tax are tax paid by those who are receiving excessive income. The word salt, S-U-R, are tax paid by excessive income earners. That's we call that kind of a tax a salt tax. Tax paid by excessive income what? Earners. If government, there are some shakers and movers of the society that because of their earnings in the society, they are expected to pay certain tax, and some taxes is known or referred to as what? A salt tax. Then the next one is what? A poll tax. A poll tax is a tax paid by low income earners. It's a flat rate of tax paid by low income earners. And the next one is what we call capital gain tax. What is capital gain tax? Oh, they are tax that are paid on the profit that has been realized from the sales of an asset. Every profit realized from the sales of an asset is called a capital gain tax. Profit, you bought a property for 5 million, and after 10 years you sold the property for 30 million. You 30 minus 5, what is the gain? 25. Pay tax on the 25,000 million, and that is what we call the capital gain tax. The next one is what we call property tax. Tax that you pay on the property of an individual. Such a tax is known or referred to as a what? A property tax. And the next tax is what we call income tax. Income tax. When you have any income, what do? You pay tax on the income. The tax paid on personal income. Yeah, that's the appropriate word to use. Personal income tax. Tax paid on the income of the person that has generated money, or you have made some money from your salary. Such a tax must be paid. Sometimes it's usually paid before you're being paid. You're paid your salary. Such a tax is personal income tax. Alright, having said that, you now realize that still on tax, there are some things that you need to know when we call it tax yield, tax rates, and tax base. What is the yield? The yield is the amount that you generate, the amount that goes to the government in form of tax. That money that goes to the government in form of tax is tax yield. And how do you get that? That's tax base times tax rates. So that money that government collects as tax is called what? Your tax yield. So you call it what? Tax base times what? Tax rates. Now, the next one is tax rates. The tax rate is the proportion or the percentage that is paid as tax. Proportion of that percentage paid as what? Tax is known or referred to as a what? Your tax rate. And how do you get the formula? Your rate is yield over base times 100 over 1. You refer to that as a what? Your tax rate. Yield over base times 100 over 1. Now your tax base is the income that you receive, or the money that the property that in which the tax is calculated on is called the base. So it's either the income or the property in which the rate is to be calculated upon is called the base. How do I get that? So my tax base is what? Apply the formula, make base is the formula. I don't need to cram it, just know one of them. That's yield over rate. That's tax yield over tax rates. You refer to that as a what? As your base. So you can mathematically get other aspects if you wish to do that. But meanwhile, that's how you can get your calculation aspect if it is necessary for you to get that. So that's your tax rate, tax yield, and tax base. Now the next line of action is talking about the system of direct tax. What are those systems of direct tax? We have just the three of them. We have the progressive tax, we have the regressive tax, and we have the proportional tax. Let's start with the progressive tax. What is the progressive tax? The tax is said to be progressive if you are paying a higher rate as tax as your income is increasing. Yes, I use the word rates. Not just a lot of textbooks or a lot of analysis to say it's higher income. No, the rate. Your rate must be the word that you must use. Any tax in which you pay a higher rate as tax as your income is increasing is called a progressive tax. Because you can be paying a higher income as tax as your income is increasing, and it's not a progressive tax. But when you convert it to rate, using the formula here, yield over base times 100 over 1, you will now realize that such a tax is known as a progressive tax. And as is shown, this is the diagrammatical aspect towards it. It goes upward, and it's done in such way as like this. You have this guy as 10%, you have this guy as 20%, and you have this guy as 30%. Let's call this guy 1,000, we call this guy 3,000, and you call this one 5,000. You observe that when you earn 1,000, you pay 10%. As your income increased to 3,000, how much did you pay? You paid 20%. As your income increased to 5,000, how much did you pay? You paid 30%. Such a tax is known and referred to as a progressive tax. Tax in which you pay a higher rate as tax as your income increases. It's called a progressive tax. The next tax, kind of tax, is called what? Regressive tax. Regressive tax is directly opposite of the progressive tax. A regressive tax are tax in which you pay a lower rate as tax as your income increases and a higher rate as tax as your income decreases. Start falling. I can feel it. Now you observe in this case that when you are the diagram is just like the diagram of the bank curve. You observe this and this goes like that and that goes like this. You have this as 10,000, 20% and this one at 30%. 1,000, 2,000 and what? 3,000. When you are earning 1,000, you are paying 30%. But when you are earning 10,000 and 3,000, you are paying 10%. Such a tax is called a regressive tax. So regressive tax as a short tax in which you pay a higher rate as tax as your income decreases and a lower rate as tax as your income increases. It's called the word a regressive tax. And lastly, we are looking at the word progressive and proportional tax. What's a proportional tax? You have a tax that is like this. A fixed rate paid as tax. You have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. A fixed rate paid as tax is called the proportional tax. When you are earning 1,000, you pay 10%, 2,000, you pay 10%, 3,000, you pay 10%, 4,000, you pay 10%, and as the money increases, you still pay the same amount of percent as tax. Such a tax is not referred to as a proportional tax. So viewers have been able to tell the three systems of direct tax, which is the progressive tax, the regressive tax, and the proportional tax. We'll go straight to the indirect tax. What are indirect tax? Indirect tax are tax that are paid on properties or individuals. Those kind of properties. They are basically tax that are paid on properties. Such kind of tax is known or referred to as what? An indirect tax. Now there are different types of indirect tax. We have the purchase tax. We have the sales tax. We have the ad valorem tax, and so on and so forth. But meanwhile, let me start with the purchase tax. What is the purchase tax? Those money that you paid on the purchase of goods and when you are buying goods is known or referred to as a purchase tax. Why sales tax? A tax that you pay for selling. Of course, you are making your money. The government is expected to get something from your revenue as well. So as you are smiling to your house, government is expected to be smiling as well. So the tax is called what? The sales tax. Now the next line of action is what we call custom and custom tax. Now under the custom tax, we have the import duties and we have the word export duties. Now under the import duties, we have what? Tax that is paid on goods that are purchased from other countries. While the export duties are tax that are paid on goods that are sold to other countries. We call that the word export and tax. Alright, so as a matter of fact, those kind of tax that is paid on goods, either imported or exported, is called what? Custom duties. Alright, so the next one the next kind of tax is called what? VAT, value added tax. Now some of us that pay NEPA bill, when you pay your NEPA bill, when you go to eateries, you observe that you go to the eatery, after buying your snacks, they'll give you a receipt. You observe that the VAT is always there. Now those VAT are the tax that you pay on commodities, the type of indirect tax. Even when you buy your airtime, you observe that after some time you realize that they have a VAT that goes straight to the government. So these are still forms of direct and indirect tax. So value added tax are tax that are paid on the taxes paid on production, on goods. You refer to that as what? Value added tax. Now, having said that, there's another thing that we need to know under the system of indirect tax. There are just two of them. We have what we call ad valorem tax. Ad valorem tax. And we have what we call specific tax. Now, these are still under indirect tax. Ad valorem tax, and we have the specific tax. For the name ad valorem, it's talking about tax that you pay based on the value of your property. Tax you pay based on the value of a property is known or referred to as what? As ad valorem. You are seeing the property and there are some properties that are made of gold, silver, diamond, I cannot pay the same amount in which I pay for silver for that of diamond, because silver has a lesser value than diamond. So when you pay tax based on the value of the commodity, such a kind of tax is called ad valorem tax. Tax paid based on value. Then specific tax is a tax that you pay per unit of the value of the commodity. Maybe at each commodity you pay 10 naira per tax. I pay 10 naira. So by the time you have 1 million, 10 naira times 1 million, you get the exact value of what you're looking for. Such kind of tax is known as what? Specific tax. Now, still on this topic, we now go towards incidence of taxation. What is incidence of taxation? We are talking about the person who bears the final brunt of tax. That is incidence. That is the person who the final brunt of tax rests upon. Now, it's in two ways. It's either it rests upon the consumers or it rests upon the producer, depending on the elasticity of demand of such tax. So that's what the incidence of taxation. Now, if a person purchases a commodity that is elastic, for example, I like defining elastic as a situation that a person has a choice, and elastic means you don't have a choice. So there are some incidents of taxation where it is borne on the consumer, and the incidence of tax where it is borne on the producers, and there are also incidents of taxation where it is borne by both the consumers and the producers. So a situation where government imposes tax on a commodity that is elastic in nature, who bears the burden? What does it about elastic? I have a choice. And for those of us that have an understanding of demand, elastic demand is when a change in the price will lead to a greater proportionate change in the quantity demanded. So if you impose tax on a commodity that is elastic, who bears the burden? I have a choice as a consumer. So who now bears the burden? Is it the consumer or the producer? Of course, if government impose tax on a commodity in which is elastic in nature, the person who bears the burden is the producer, because the consumer has a choice. Do you understand that? I want to believe you said this. Now, that is, what about if it is inelastic? If government imposes tax on a commodity that is inelastic in nature, who bears the burden? Of course, inelastic means I don't have a choice. Or let me put it in a better perspective. When the government, inelastic is a situation where an increase in the price will lead to little or no change in the quantity of goods demanded. But for you to understand better, just remember when you're talking about demand, inelastic demand means I don't have a choice. So if government decides to impose a tax on a commodity in which you do not have a choice, it means that because of the necessity that is imposed on such kind of a commodity, you have to buy it. Who will not bear the burden of such incidence of tax? Is it the consumer or the producer? You guess right. Of course, it is the consumer that will bear the burden. Why? Because the consumer has no choice than to purchase the commodity. So in that case, I've made it easy for you to understand. We just go straight to budget. What is budget? The budget is supposed to be defined as the financial plan of the government that shows the government anticipated revenue and the proposed expenditure over a period of time. Did you get that? Anticipated revenue of the government and the proposed expenditure over a period of time. How many types of budget do we have? We have three types of budget. We have the surplus budget, we have the deficit budget, and we have the balanced budget. What's the surplus budget? When the anticipated revenue of the government is greater than the proposed expenditure. Anticipated revenue is greater than the proposed expenditure. You call that a surplus budget. What is the deficit budget? When the anticipated revenue of the government is less than the proposed expenditure. That is, the proposed expenditure is greater than the anticipated revenue. Do you understand that? Then the next one is the last one, which is the balanced budget. Balanced budget is when the anticipated revenue of the government is equivalent to this anticipated revenue of the government. Such is known or referred to as what? A balanced budget. Having said that, we now of course realize that there are other things that we need to know, which is called national or public debt. What is a national debt? National debt are debt owed by the government of the country over a period of time, and there are different kinds of debts. We have the bilateral debt, debt that is owed between two governments of the country. We have the multilateral debt that is owed by World Banks, debt owed by IMF. It is a multilateral debt. We have which other kind of debt? But more important than now, the major types of debt is what I just mentioned, and it is important for us. So, we have debt that are unilateral, we have debt that are multilateral, we have debt that are bilateral, we have debt that you just realize that you just have to owe. And it's important for us to realize all that. Very, very important that which of them, it all depends on the aspect in which you are looking at it from. But it's important for government, because each government is always looking for a debt that will soften the effect in which it's having. Now there are certain terms that you need to also note in this topic. There are certain terms that you need to know in this topic. Terms like tax holiday, tax evasion, tax avoidance. We have recurrent revenue, recurrent capital receipts, recurrent expenditure, debt servicing. Now when you say tax holiday, there are some amount that government gives to you for starting a company, and government will not tell you to pay certain amount because you just started a company. Such kind of tax is known as a tax holiday. Amount given to the government or concession given by the government to a newly established industry is called what? Tax holiday. Then the next one is tax evasion. Tax evasion is when you decide to deliberately not pay tax. You are avoiding payment of tax. It is illegal. It's something that you can be arrested for. So that amount, that term given to somebody who decides not to pay tax at all, or fraudulently decides to pay tax, in either of the two of them, you fraudulently pay tax that is less than the amount you are supposed to pay, or you are not even paying tax at all. You refer to that as well, tax holiday. Then tax avoidance is the legal means of reducing the amount that you are supposed to pay as tax. You are made illegal because of your financial status. You go to the government and you are on there, and they decide to make you just pay certain amount. Is known as what? Tax holiday. Recurrent revenue is the amount that continues, that goes to the profiles of the government post on a regular basis. It's called what? The recurrent revenue, like the tax. Then capital receipts. Capital receipts are those huge amounts of money received by the government from wealthy nations, either maybe in terms of grants or aids. Then recurrent expenditures are those huge amounts of money expended by the government on capital projects such as canal or bridges. Then debt servicing. Debt servicing is a situation, the profits, or rather the amount that you pay as a result, the interest paid on debt that you have borrowed. That interest that you paid on debt that you have borrowed is known as debt servicing. So at this junction, I just want to implore you to stay tuned, and I wish you success. Thank you very much.